Hello, welcome to another episode of Conversations with T at AML. Thank you so very much for joining us. I hope you're well. We have brought to you today, or we're bringing to you today, an exclusive interview for the very first time at Ladies Corner Canada Media. Dang Ruay. She is a director with the South Sudanese Community in Calgary, and she joins us to tell us all about the fantastic work that they do in Calgary. Good morning, Anger. Thank you so very much for joining this chat.
Good morning to you too, Ms. Purple, and thank you so much for having me. Thank you for taking the time to host me here.
Absolutely. We're excited to have you. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got involved with the South Sudanese community in Calgary?
As you mentioned, my name is Dang Ruay, and I am one of the leaders, one of the few women leaders here in Calgary. I've been here in Calgary for 2 years. Prior to that, I was living in Manitoba, and in Manitoba, I was also working with the community, raising a lot of the issues that we are facing back in Manitoba. When I moved here in Calgary, I realized that there's no unity within the South Sudanese community. So 2 years ago, a group of us, 5 of us, we came together and we decided, well, we need to have a conference to bring the South Sudanese people together and just talk about our issues, and if we need to reconcile, we need to reconcile. Because what happened is there was a civil war back in South Sudan, and then that effect of the civil war spilled over here, and we were just not talking to each other. The Dinkas were not talking to the Nuers were not talking to the Equatoria. So in November 2022, we held a Healing and Reconciliation Conference just for the South Sudanese community at Glenmore Hotel. And that was the stepping stone we needed. After that, the community came together, and now we are working together as a group.
That is such a beautiful story. I like when you say you're one of the few women leaders. And what also got me was this innovative idea of bringing together all the members of the South Sudanese community to heal and reconcile. This is 2024. Could you please describe what the journey has been from 22 to 24, what that unity has looked like, what maybe one or two of some of the things you've been able to accomplish after that healing, after the healing work began?
Okay, after the healing and reconciliation, we were able to apply for grants, and thanks to Calgary Foundation for giving us grants, we were able to receive over $67,000. We ran a couple of programs. We ran our summer program, that was the soccer and basketball program. We also did a cultural event. We did women empowerment workshop. So those are all the activities we were able to do. And then this year we have, that was 2023, and 2024, we are now currently doing our summer program, thanks to, again, Calgary Foundation and United Way. United Way funded the soccer program, and Calgary Foundation funded the basketball program. So it looks like our summer program is becoming sustainable. So we're able to, this is now the second year we are running that program.
When I reached out to you, Anger, I did not know what I was expecting, but the kind of stuff that's coming from you is just blowing my mind as to what we can accomplish when we come together. And I think this is so amazing. I want you to talk to us about I know you've applied for grant, but are there still any more problems you encounter as you do this work?
Absolutely. I think we, the South Sudanese, I think our problems are quite unique because, one, we came here as refugees. I usually tell people that I myself, I'm an example. I was born in war. I grew up in war. And the only time I got peace is when I came here to Canada. I lived in a refugee camp in Kenya, Kakuma refugee camp. And so when we migrated here, we had pre-migration trauma, And then now post-migration trauma, mental issues because of the war. Majority of us lost our parents when we were very young. And then just the effects of war, and then again, lack of education. And with that, we have a lot of our people here in Calgary who are homeless. So we, the leaders of the community here in Calgary, we are facing a lot of homelessness. Like majority of our people are in downtown, they're homeless there. So this is some of the issues that we're trying to work together with the city. We're trying to work together with the police, Calgary Police, and also our youths. Our youths are, getting into drugs, getting into, gangs and violence, things like that, because one, their parents are working longer hours, so they're not able to stay home and take care of their kids at home, and they're doing that so that they can provide for their families, and they're working, entry-level jobs. So with this economy, with this inflation, one job is not enough, especially if you're working, entry-level jobs. So you have to work two jobs, and that's what our women and our men, our parents are doing here in Calgary. And then remember also language barrier. When we came here, we didn't speak English. Majority of us don't speak English. We speak we speak Arabic. Some people speak Swahili, like myself, who lived in Kenya, and then we do have our own dialect, Dinka, Nuer, Equatoria, our own dialect. So we're facing a lot of issues. Unemployment rate is up there because a lot of us are not educated. They can't go to school because of language barrier. I mentioned about homelessness. I mentioned about our youth, and that's why we decided to come up with a youth program so that we can keep our youths engaged. We don't want we don't want them being idle and then getting into risky behaviors, and that's why we decided, this summer program, it's paramount. And the good thing with the summer program, especially for the soccer, we've seen a lot of girls enroll. So a lot of our participants are girls, and we're encouraging girls to enroll into activities like soccer and basketball.
I'm learning a lot now about the South Sudanese community. I wouldn't have known all of this. You mentioned the Dinka, and I've seen roots, and I know that tribe, the Dinka people, and I know they're powerful, resilient tribe historically because a lot of them were moved to during the slave trade to America. And I have followed one or two people from that tribe in America. So I feel quite astounded that, the South Sudanese are actually closer to me right here in Alberta than all the work I'm doing following the Dinka speaking people in America. You've spoken very well, Onga. Can you talk to us about some of the programs you have? I know you mentioned basketball and the Calgary Foundation sponsoring something else. Could you talk to us about some of the programs you have going on at your community for South Sudanese people?
As I mentioned, we don't have a lot of programs that we want to run a lot of programs, but again, due to lack of funding. So the major programs we're running right now is the summer basketball program. And in that summer basketball program, we have over 50 kids. We've even talked to Genesis. We're running it at the Genesis Center every Tuesdays and Saturdays. We've talked to Genesis Center to acquire another court because one basketball court is not enough. And the boys are like, we came here to play. We don't want to, just sit on the bench. So we ended up getting a second court. We have plans in August to have a friendly match between the South Sudanese and the Filipinos community. They will get their players and we have a friendly match. Ethiopia also has reached out to us, so we're going to have a friendly match between us and the Ethiopia, that is the Ethiopians and the Eritreans. So we are excited about that. And then we got funding from the government of Alberta, so we're going to run our cultural activities. So that will be sometime in August or September. I think that's about it. But we are pleading to the funders out there, we're pleading to the city, please partner with us so that we are able to, mitigate some of the problems that we're facing in the community.
Thank you, Anga. This takes me to my next question. If money was not a problem, you mentioned a wide variety of issues that South Sudanese people, and indeed, a lot of us immigrants face this issue of doing two jobs, entry level jobs, long hours, little pay, and then children are going into gangs and into drugs. If money was not a problem, how would you attack the multiplicity of the problems you're facing as a community?
For me, I am a strong advocate for education. Like I believe education is the key. I kept hearing and reading and saying education. It's important to educate yourself, to get the knowledge so that you're able to make informed decisions and choices. So if money was not an issue, I would first run a tutoring program for our kids. A lot of our South Sudanese kids at the elementary level are not able to read. And if you compare our kids with a typical Canadian, at 5 years of age, a Canadian child is able to read or identify the letters, but we are not. So we are late readers. We find even our children in grade 2 are still not able to read. So this is an issue. We leaders of the South Sudanese, we really want to tackle that. We brought that issue to Calgary Foundation, and I hope that we'll be able to talk to them in the near future. I think the community grants are coming up, or any other, if the city is able to partner with us, we want to run tutoring programs for our kids. That's one. Two, the homelessness issue. If we are able even to have just a center or a place where, our people are able to come in, get a hot meal, and then we're able to rehabilitate them. This homeless population, people on the streets, first of all, they don't have IDs. They can't even access government services because, one, in order for you to qualify for AISH or for Alberta Works, you need to, one, have an ID, two, have a physical agent. Have a physical address. Okay, and they don't have a physical address. So if we have a place where we are able to use that facility as physical addresses for our people on the streets, we're able to rehabilitate them, bring them out, apply for IDs for them, help them apply for Alberta Works or AISH, whoever's in disability, get housing for them so that we're able to take them off the streets. And also majority of them are saying, you know what, we don't want to stay here anymore. We want to go back to South Sudan. So we can help them get their documents and get their passports or get their travel document. And whoever wants to go back in South Sudan, we will be able to facilitate that. So I think these issues are able to be solved by people like us, that we understand the issues and we understand the people that are on the streets. These are our people.
Absolutely. Thank you so very much. So, what kind of support do your women need, and how might your organization be poised to support them?
Absolutely. Our women need, for me, it's training, capacity building. Okay. And then mental health. Mental health is big. We are, especially we women, we are dealing with a lot. And because of culture, we are not able to express what we're facing. We're supposed to be strong, we're supposed to be resilient, but that shouldn't be the case. As a black woman, as a black Canadian, if I need help, I need to ask for help, and not feel guilty about that, not having that stigma that, oh, what, she's going through something. So we need that mental training or mental health capacity. One, career coaching. A lot of our women want training in even healthcare aid, or childcare, so that they're able to leave, because majority of them are working entry-level jobs like cleaning and things like that. So if they're able to go to school and get that healthcare certificate, so they'll be able to, one, work less hours, so they're able to take care of their kids at home, and two, get a little bit more money to take care of whatever expenses they have to take care of. And then three, they just want to go out and socialize. Socialization is a big thing. We want to have we as leaders, we want to create events where we're able to bring out the women so they come and socialize. A lot of us are just sitting in our homes, and it's not mentally healthy for us.
I hear you. We need to come out of our isolation
Absolutely.
and socialize, because that's also a mental health strategy. And get, tell me, what can the community do to save our children? I'm really bothered when you say South Sudanese children are getting into drugs and gangs. What more can organizations like Calgary Foundation, United Way do? What more can we as members of the community do to support your efforts in reaching our youths?
I think getting them engaged. For me, the idleness, the sitting at home and watching TV, or just the boredom, if kids are engaged, are able to attend summer programs, basketball. A lot of South Sudanese boys love basketball because of their height. Yeah, they're tall, so they love playing basketball. So if we're able to engage them in sports, not only in summer, even school, even during school time, September to December, if you're able to engage them in basketball, in soccer, a majority of our parents, of South Sudanese parents, can't afford, they can't afford summer camps, soccer camps, or soccer clubs, I mean, or even basketball clubs from September to December cost on average $500. A parent, for $500, that's a lot. Somebody's thinking, should I take that money, put it in the soccer camp, or should I use that money and feed my kids? Absolutely, food. And then I've also forgot to mention food insecurity. We are facing that. A lot of our kids and our families are facing that. I'll give an example. We are running this summer camp, and we provide food for them, but if you see how they eat the sandwich so fast and they come for second serving, you could tell these kids are, are not being fed well at home. But I don't want to blame the parents. It's the situation, the inflation. Yeah.
Anger personally bothers me. No child should be hungry in 2024. White, black, no child should go to bed hungry. So I salute your efforts with the summer camp, with the basketball, with everything you are doing, and I hear your heart for your community. And together, I hope that 24 is a much better year. I hope that all the grants you're seeking you get, and that things will begin to get better for South Sudanese people, one person at a time. It is really bothering me hearing all these things. Now, what are some of your long-term goals for your community? I know we've spoken about some, but in an ideal world, in an ideal world, what would you like to see?
September is around the corner. Kids are going to go to school again. For me, it's just the basic needs. I find, again, education is one of the basic needs, and then food. Um, if every child is able to go to school at least with a lunch, with snacks, and we are able to provide for them that tutoring support, that after school support, and then also just have them engage in sports. We don't want them just going school and no fun. So I think those are my major three, four kids. Like I'm focusing on the kids. It's just we have a lot of issues, Miss Purple. A lot of issues. So I don't even know, and they're all important. So we're focusing on kids here. We're focusing on women here. We're focusing. Sometimes I'm like, it's just too much.
Mm. I hear you. I hear you, anger, and and just seeing you grab the Kleenex just now breaks my heart, because it tells me, one, We are
Yeah.
grateful to have you, and this is where you're meant to be. We rarely find selfless leaders who take the work on like you have. And please let me know if there's anything I can do to support. And my final question is, what do you find most rewarding in your day-to-day work with the South Sudanese community?
You know, I am a mother. I have two children. I have a 9-year-old daughter and a 5-year-old son. Um, and when I think of, you know, my kids, you know, not doing well in school, or you know, or hungry, sleeping, or going to school with nothing, or going to school with no balanced diet, you know, food. It breaks my heart. So all these kids I see are, and I always tell them, I am auntie, I'm your auntie. I am not that tall, I'm very short. I'm not a typical South Sudanese. South Sudanese are like six something. My husband is 6'5", and I am 5'6", 5'7", 5'6". So what is fulfilling is I go to bed knowing that I've made a difference. And if I don't do it, who will do it? We can't say, or let the next person do it. Absolutely not. Um, Sometimes I feel exhausted, I'll be honest. I feel tired, but I love what I do. I I I won't change it for a bit. And we are making a difference. Even though I make a difference, you know, on one child, I think my purpose here on earth. I've done what God has put me here on earth to do. So
Anger Dang Ruay, you are a director with the South Sudanese Community, and I genuinely want us to carry on with this conversation, but I know you are pressed for time. I want to say thank you so much for sharing just a snippet, a little bit of the work you do with our audience, with our world. Thank you so very much for your time. I'm going to end the recording, and I'll ask that you stay just for final thoughts.